Hello everyone, my name's Christiana Davidson. Welcome to my channel. Thank you for being here. As many of you will know, I'm a psychotherapist and hypnotherapist, and I work in this field of helping people heal permanently from childhood trauma, dysfunctional family systems and narcissistic parents. So if you come from any of those backgrounds, please continue to subscribe and to have a look at the videos I've made. If any resonate with you, any of the titles, do like and comment on them. I do try to respond to everyone who comments on my videos. Now the topic for today's video is it comes really out of a post that I put on my Facebook page that stated, in the narcissistic family system, you are loved for how you make your parents feel. Not for who you are, but for how you make your parents feel. Now you can see already the impact that this will have on the child's later life, learning that in order to be loved, I need to manage the feelings of others. But before we get into it immediately, let's just put a bit of background here. So in a previous video, I described how the narcissistic family is triadic. In other words, it's based on a triangle. Two corners of the triangle, mum, dad, and one of the children. So that's the structure, the basic structure of the narcissistic family. And I did do a video on this, which may be helpful to have a look at before watching this video today. Hi Elizabeth, thank you for joining. So here is what happens in the narcissistic family system, and how you learn to be lovable by how you make your parents feel. So in this triadic system, the relationship between mum and dad is highly dysfunctional, to say the least. There's no real intimacy, there's no real depth to the relationship. And so what happens in order to balance this system is one child is selected to come up and be the go-between between mum and dad, to somehow hold together their marriage. Now this child is often the golden child, the good boy or girl. So one child is selected to be the good little girl or boy, and is the one that forms the third in the relationship between mum and dad. They are responsible as a go-between between the two parents. This child's natural desire to separate from the parents, therefore, has to be stunted. Because the parents need this child to forever be in that role between them to hold everything together. So how this happens, how the stunting of this child's separation happens, is that one of the parents will enmesh with the child. And the child's role, therefore, is to maintain the balance between usually a domineering mother and a detached father. So that's the dynamic. Usually there's this domineering, ever-present mother and a detached and absent father who allows the child to sort of be the surrogate partner for the mother, or vice versa. The child can be a surrogate partner for the father and balance the system in that way. Donaldson and Pressman in 1994 suggest that the child is not so much seen in terms of who he or she is as a separate individual, but rather as how he or she makes the parents feel. So the golden child who gets brought up learns that to be loved is to be a good boy or girl. And what does it mean to be a good boy or girl? It means making mum or dad feel better or feel good about themselves. That's what the child learns being a good boy or girl is. So therefore, the needs of the narcissistic parental system takes precedence over the needs of the child. Now, you see, what's going on here, this is the depth here of the enmeshment in the parents' marriage. The child learns to be completely focused on the parents, on their often unpredictable, drama-filled lives. The child learns to orient itself on the drama of the parents. That's what the child feels responsible for. And it focuses everything on their lives, their dramas. The child becomes a spectator to the lives of their parents rather than the other way round. You know, parents are meant to be focused on the drama of the child's life. But no, not in the narcissistic family system. The child is almost like an actor or in the sidelines watching the show of the parents, and they can get called on at any point on stage to be immersed in this drama between the mother and the father. And often that happens. They'll be, the parents will draw the child into an argument, and the child will be put in this precarious position of trying to please both mum and dad, being forced to sort of take allegiance sometimes. It's really such a toxic position to be in, and totally overwhelming for the child too. This child will be highly guilt-ridden and easily shamed, as he or she was groomed early on to be entangled in the parents' drama, in the parents' marriage, instead of them being focused on his or her life, his or her needs. These children frequently express deep empathy and sadness at the parents' situation. That's what gets them in the heart, is the sadness of the parents and their drama and their unhappiness, rather than empathy for themselves and thinking, gosh, who's looking out for me? When the child is ministering to the feelings of the parents, he's a good girl or boy. He or she is a good girl or boy. When the child is not doing that, for example, when the child expresses their own feelings, their own chaos, their own drama, these will be seen as an imposition. It's almost a bit of a selfish thing, because it's, the parents have got so much drama themselves, it feels a bit, it can be made to feel a bit selfish, a bit of an annoyance. And thus children are groomed to shut off from their own feelings and to only have sympathy or empathy for their parents. Now, these children are manipulated by guilt and shame. The guilt of not being able to satisfy their parents' need to feel good. The guilt of not being able to bring about the happiness that their parents that they would feel their parents are wanting. For being sometimes shamed for not being able to make the parents happy. You know, for not being good enough, for not holding things together, for not performing in the way the parents wanted, for not saying the right thing, for saying something that annoys the parent. The child will be shamed for that and guilted. The parent's drama is what the good girl or boy must have as the centre of their lives. They must centre themselves around the parent's drama, and in order to be loved, in order to be a good girl or boy, they learn that they must manage that. And so, you know, you can imagine the impact of this on the adult later on, still with this type of system active within them. You know, that this adult will be in the world believing that they are responsible for making others happy. And that will happen in the workplace, it will happen in future relationships. But there will come a point where the adult realizes that this system is destroying them from within. And so that's where work with therapists like myself come in, to begin breaking that toxic triadic system, getting that adult child out of that triadic system, out of the marriage of the parents, so that they can be free at last to write their own story, without having to please anybody but themselves, to finally have empathy for themselves. And this, honestly, when we do hypnotherapy with the clients I work with, it is so transformative, because often for the first time clients are like, my goodness, I'm starting to discover this real empathy for me at last that was so clouded behind the empathy I had for my parents. And that is the beginning of the liberation then. It's the beginnings of letting go of guilt and shame as the controlling factors in your life. I have an amazing course. It's so powerful, and I know I say this every video, but you know, I just feel so honoured to have this way of working that's so different to traditional talk therapy and hypnotherapy. It's a combination of the two, and it's structured highly, and it requires you and I to work together as a team, and it really does do what it says on the tin. It transforms you and it breaks this toxic pattern from within. Thanks everybody for watching today. I hope to see you again soon. Take care. Bye.